What do you get when you mix 280 miles of river, 24 days, 13 old, new, and reacquainted friends, 5 rafts, 2 kayaks, and a canoe? Why, one grand experience. A hectic day of packing, rigging, and repacking at the Lee's Ferry put in, and we're ready to launch downstream towards the Navajo Bridge and Badger Creek Rapids and 280 more miles of whitewater to Pearce Ferry at Lake Mead. We'll be following in the steps, or paddles, of Major John Wesley Powell through the entire Grand Canyon National Park, from one ferry crossing to the next. After a beautiful sunrise and an orientation talk by a ranger, we're about as packed as we can be and ready to head downstream to Marble Canyon and the first of many rapids and wonderful hikes.
Run, come see what this river has done. Carve the walls of Grand Canyon with the colors of the rising sun, and paint a picture of the promise.
Time for lunch above the Navajo Bridge, Marble Canyon Bridge.
Run, come see what this river has done.
Looking back upstream,
We're off to the Navajo Bridge and the first of many
Won't
rapids.
somebody walk with me? We go strolling past the Colorado River's sweet
Badger Rapid. Our first big
turn back
one.
the clock ahead.
And it's really not all that big.
100 years with every step you take. Won't somebody come? There's a rainbow. And that morning fall.
Badger Creek was named by the Powell expedition, as they had killed a badger here to supplement their provisions. And just 3 miles later, we've got Soap Creek Rapid, which got a bit more difficult due to a flash flood only a couple years ago. When a side stream flashes, the current carries boulder debris further out into the creek mouth delta, pinching off the main river, accelerating it, and creating fun waves, holes, and hydraulics. Some pretty stiff warm-ups for a crusty, rusty old open boater like myself.
And come see what this river has.
If these are the big easy ones, I'm wondering what the big hard ones later on are going to be like.
Maybe someday the folks we love show this land a little more respect. If they could.
When Powell and his men cooked their badger in the alkali waters of the next creek downstream, it foamed. Hence, Soap Creek. And a quick cold water rinse off there. During the 1889 Brown-Stanton exploratory trip, the boat that Brown was rowing flipped in a whirlpool just below Saltwater Wash, a bit downstream from Soap Creek Rapids. And without a life preserver, Brown drowned. Peter Hansborough, who later drowned with Richards at mile 25, memorialized Brown with an inscription carved on the east wall of the canyon near our campsite. We've got an early morning wake-up call with House Rock Rapid first thing off. Hello! We've got 3 hard shell boats on the trip. David and Betsy in kayaks, and Mikey in an open canoe. What's that thing sticking out the top of his helmet? Devil horns or a camera? You guess. What'd you think of that one, Betsy?
I think I pushed the right buttons. I hope I pushed it hard.
Now that the safety boaters are in place, it's time for Kevin Statham to row the first of our oar rafts through the rapid.
That's Kevin. Getting lined up and running. We're going to hit his head on.
The push of the current, the curve of the cliff, and the boulder debris fan of House Rock Creek all force you to start further left than you'd like, just to allow enough time to move right to miss those 2 big holes at the bottom. And you do want to miss those 2 big holes. Paul is rowing a 16-foot cataract. House Rock Rapid is not named after the large underwater rocks creating these holes, but rather for the House Rock Ranch Valley above and the creek from there to the river. Happy grins when everybody does well. Tanner's up next in an 18-foot oar boat. Emily, Tuesday, Ryan, and Tanner. We call them the Young Guns. Young, but not inexperienced. A lot of river miles under their belts. Lastly, we've got our trip leader, Garth and his 2 paddlers in a 14-foot raft. Nice indeed. The well-coordinated paddling efforts made that look real nice. North Canyon Creek has cut its way through the dark red Supai rock layer, creating extremely striking canyon walls.
Like it, huh?
I just keep the teeth clenched.
North Canyon, mile 21 approx. Been a cool hike so far. We're gonna reach sort of a dry fall dead end, but there's an escape that zigs up and back, so we'll get around it. Not over it, around it.
No way around this one. It's either through it or not.
84, we would just head right up that.
Yeah.
Down in layers. And it seems to me it's almost like the same geological formation as double space file, but different form.
Well, columnar basalt's pretty different. Really different.
And the water is too muddy to see if it's a wade or a swim.
Has to be for you. You're the tall man. Watch out for the anacondas. Once they get that first wrap around your neck, it's all over.
Looks like we're going for a swim. We can get there and not get any deeper than that.
Oh, it'll be like a water slide.
Well, you carry up the water. I got a bottle. Right here.
Boy, I didn't
Is it
come.
muddy?
Yeah, look at his red trail. But
So new.
Like Wisconsin, is different.
Yeah, maybe a little different. Only a little.
Add other owner pics and voiceover here. North Canyon. The next morning, at about mile 21 and a half, we've got North Canyon Rapid. The first of the Roaring 20s. A whole string of frequent, big, easy rapids stretching for almost 10 miles. I know I did say big, and that certainly fits. But didn't I say easy? Huh?